Governor, they claim that means Florida taxpayers are going to be on the hook for about $1 billion because of your decision. So could this end up backfiring on the people of Florida?
Yeah, no, Disney will pay its debts. Disney will, for the first time, actually live under the same laws as everybody else in Florida. Imagine that. The bonds will be paid by Disney. They will be paying taxes, probably more taxes.
So you guys are going to have to pay the bills for the police, the firefighters.
No, so that's the thing. People just, their taxes they pay to Reedy Creek, they're paying themselves. They are Reedy Creek. It's a fiction. It doesn't pass the laugh test.
Governor,
back in April, Ron DeSantis had his rock star performance on Fox's Laura Ingraham Angles show, which was pretty much a rally with a full audience applauding every move he makes. And there he's talking about his battle back and forth with Disney and their special status with the state and their Reedy Creek scenario, which he has now decided to strip them of since they've criticized his decision to push this Don't Say Gay law that will stop children from talking about who they are or talk about who their parents are or even mention what gayness is, because that's gonna harm the children. So anyway, he's punishing Disney because of their decision to criticize him and not even continue to give their dollars to it. But his plan to actually pay for that $1 billion of taxes that Disney usually pays for their special status there is gonna fall on someone's shoulders. And he pointed out Disney's gonna pay. Are they gonna pay? Let's check out what's actually happening here now. Because Ron DeSantis said on Monday that his state is likely to take over Walt Disney World's special taxing district, which means Disney's not paying. Removing the power the company has had to regulate much of what goes on within the 25,000 acre that the company founder Walt Disney purchased more than half a century ago. Let's look into details more about what he's saying is gonna happen there with this. Let's go.
So do not worry about the debt, and certainly the state of Florida. First of all, we have the lowest per capita tax burden. Why? I have the biggest budget surplus we've ever had. There would be no basis to ever do any type of raising taxes. And I think if you look at all the subsidies, that Disney's gotten over the years, likely the state and local governments will likely be collecting more taxes.
They'll be collecting more taxes. He's got a huge surplus. The state is gonna take it over. I still haven't heard about Disney paying their $1 billion that he's now taken because he wants control. And there's some nefarious parts about this we'll get to in a second, but more about this plan and how well thought out it is. So DeSantis' staff said that the details of the plan are still being worked on after he made all those declarative statements. So several residents of those counties sued DeSantis for saddling taxpayers with that debt, which amounts to be about $2,200 per family in those counties. Orange County Mayor Jayar Jackson said at the time that it would be catastrophic for the county's budget to take on Disney's debt. So he definitely has to run away from that. He said, I can tell you this, that debt will not end up going to any of these local governments. It's not gonna go to the state government either. It's going to be absolutely dealt with, is what with the taxpayers who are currently in that district, and we're going to have a proposal to kind of make sure that that's clear. And that is 100%. To kind of make sure that's clear, but it's still 100%. I mean, those very hedging words. Also, the GOP-led legislator passed the bill dissolving Reedy Creek that DeSantis wanted without a detailed analysis of the proposal and without any public comment. The governor signed it into law 4 days after he proposed it. That hurried process has left stakeholders confused. Again, these are emotional moves that these guys make, Adrian, based off of what they're upset about after they put in a law that's gonna discriminate against so many folks. And then when they wanna make sure they tell everyone, hey, I'm beating my chest, I'm putting Disney in its place. How dare you point out that my policies hurt people? Now we gotta pay for it, we just haven't planned that out yet. It's an elementary school approach to legislating.
Yeah, exactly. It's legislate and then check the law later. The thing with Ron DeSantis is his claim that Disney is going to pay this debt is that same giving of energy as Trump, Mexico will pay for this wall. The reality is that Disney is not going to pay the debt, it's going to litigate because that's what Disney does. And it's going to litigate DeSantis into the ground and possibly contribute to campaigns and uplift a candidate to directly challenge DeSantis and get him out of office. And the thing is as I've said online many times, this is what these major companies get who try to play both sides in terms of ensuring that consumers continue to purchase and buy, yet then they are essentially contributing to the pockets of politicians who are not making decisions that are in the best interest of those consumers. And as a result, they end up getting bitten back by those politicians, and now they are in a predicament. And so these big companies need to decide, who are they going to support? The consumers and doing what the people want, or are they gonna support politicians who don't? But I can tell you, as of right now, DeSantis is just talking out of his ass, because I don't think he has any support for the thought that Disney is actually gonna pay this debt, and it will be something that will befall the people.
I was wondering as far as the litigation process go, because again, let's not forget, Disney was kind of silent on this whole thing when this bill was first introduced, until employees and just general public pressure said, hey, Disney, what do you think about this? You cater to children and families. And they went, okay, yeah, that's right, I'm sorry, yeah, we're totally against this. Then the fight happened. It's the way that he's looking to do things. But there is this nefarious part about this I wanna get to, and I'm curious what you think. Because there's a Democratic state representative, he says that this is potentially a bit of a takeover that DeSantis might want. No, that's aside from potentially all the legal issues. So State Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith, he represents part of Orange County, he called DeSantis' comments an alarming turn of events. I hadn't thought about this part. Democrats noted that the state-run district would allow the governor to pick the district's 5-member board of supervisors, which are people who currently are selected by Disney. So this is DeSantis' administration's openly saying that they plan to seize control of a local government for opposing his extreme agenda. That's what Guillermo Smith said. The gravity of what we're seeing happening, in front of us, should be a warning sign to all Americans and to all Floridians. So I'm not sure which kind of power he could have once he appoints this 5-member panel that usually Disney put into place, or what the previous 5-member panel was doing. Maybe they weren't that great on rights for humans either. But either way it goes, anytime someone like Ron DeSantis, who wants nothing much but more power, gets it, he's probably pretty happy about it. I'm just curious, will he get it?
Yeah, and also quite dangerous with it. And the thing is I've never seen Disney or thought of Disney as being a very progressive company at all. If anything, I think that they, by and large, kind of reinforce the power structures that are already in existence. And so I couldn't imagine that this board would be as diverse, progressive, and open-minded as we wanted to begin with. But I think that there's a potential that it could get worse, and it will get worse if DeSantis is in a position to in any way structure who gets to be a part of that board. And I think that there will be a considerable amount of corruption that goes on.
What makes you think something like that? What's wrong with you? DeSantis, corruption, what's wrong?